So welcome back everyone. Once again, this is Kevin from CSMI in Australia today doing another video on the crawler crane. So as usual, thank you for your question and comments on the previous one. Let's get straight into this. So for those of you who are asking me what the weather is like in Perth, it's gloomy, it's Thursday and it's around 4:40 p.m. in the afternoon. So let's get straight into this. So the first thing is we're going to do is power the radio up. You've got two buttons up here. You just press them up and then you'll see the light come up, and then what you have to do is you got to say yes, and then you've got to make sure that the switches are in the right position in order for it to function correctly, right? So let's get up this, and okay, there you go. So once all the switches are in the right function, in the right position, they will get powered on. Now, let's go and start the engine first. So this little switch up here is for the engine. You power that up, but before that, let's power the crane up. So the crane is powered, and okay, there you go. The engine's up and running. Now that the engine's up and running, let's go have a look at this winch. So all the winches are controlled by the joystick, including the cab rotation. So you've got 3 winches and you've got a cab rotation, all on the joystick. So this is the winch. Here you go. And you'll probably see, let's see if we can bring it a bit more closer for you guys. So it's got a servo motor with a brake shoe, and all it does is the moment you release the joystick to the center, the brake shoe will stop the outrunner. There you go. And now I'm releasing the joystick, and there you go, it stops it. And that's the other winch. So the 2 joysticks up and down control the 2 winches, right? And those 2 winches are for the main hook and the auxiliary hook. Now, this particular winch over here, okay, this particular winch is controlled by the right-hand joystick up here, by left and right, and that's for the A-frame that's connected to the bridle to actually lower or raise the boom. So 3 motors, 3 winches, 2 lift functions, and 1 to lower and raise the boom. And the small motor does the lowering and the raising of the boom, right? So that's the configuration that I'm going to set it up to. I need to double check if that's the right configuration. Now, I mentioned before that the cab comes into a storage position, right? So let's bring this in. Now let's get this up correctly up here. Now, this particular switch, okay, that's the engine. Okay. So the top right-hand 3-way switch, spring load switch, controls the cab, and you pull the switch in and it will actually push the cab in the operating position. What's going on here? So, okay, it seems to be, there you go. Okay, so let's see if it functions correctly. Okay, that's the storage position, and that's in the operating. I don't know why it's not traveling completely, but it should be. Okay, we'll have a look at it later. Okay, so that is the position that the operator would be, and that's the storage position, and it's controlled by a switch, which is operated by a very small motor up here. It's quite an interesting feature. Now, the next interesting function is the outriggers. So they give you these feet that you have to put on those outriggers, and what it does is the crane's actually on the trailer like it's simulated in real life, and it'll actually lift itself off the trailer, and then the trailer can drive out. So that's what it's for. Now, let me see if I can get this hydraulic function to run. Give me a sec. I'm trying to work out the, there you go. Okay, I'm just trying to work out the servo. Okay, there you go. So the outrigger is controlled by this particular switch, and that will actually pretty much lift the whole crane up. Now it may not lift uniformly because it doesn't have floor dividing valves on it, but if you give it its time, it'll actually rotate and pretty much lift itself up, and that's the outrigger position. You can stop the hydraulics and then it'll hold its position. So I'm going to lower it down and then show it to you from a different angle. So let's lower it down. So the only reason why it doesn't go uniformly down is because the liquid will follow its least path of resistance and it'll actually flow in from there. So this is a different angle. So the outriggers are actually in the forward and the reverse of the crane because the tracks come in parallel to the cab. So let's go again. Okay, now if this was a trailer, it would actually drive out and then you would have the crane sitting up there, and then you would put in the tracks, and then you would operate these cylinders to lock the crawler tracks in place, and then the crawler tracks actually hook in, and then these pins go in and they lock it into place. So and then when you're transporting it, you would take the tracks off, and then you would actually come back into position again. The trailer would be parked in, and then the whole crane would then lower down. So that completes that function. So this is where we're going to stop. This is just controlled by another switch. It's nothing big, but I'll go through that in another video. But this is where we're going to stop on this video. So as usual, if you have any question or comments, you can leave them down or email us at info@csmi.com.au, and thank you for watching.